Good day, everyone. Good day, sir. And in behalf of our group, I am Alfred James Cabido reporting about the assessment or in assessing the affective domain. And today, as we explore about the topic about the affective domain of learning, it is also outlined in the revised Bloom's taxonomy. The affective domain focuses on attitudes, on values, on emotions, and interpersonal skills. And as we examine, we will also tackle about the 5 levels of the affective domain. The assessment in the affective domain that is founded by David Kratwool. So it is the receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization. So allow me to proceed with the presentation. So in receiving, it is being aware or sensitive to the existence of certain ideas, material, or phenomena, and being willing to tolerate them. So in example, as it is presented here, an individual would read a passage book about civil rights. So as the individual read the passage about the book in civil rights, he is or she is grasping an open information about the civil rights, and she gained knowledge about it. But in that pace, he or she only input or encodes the information through reading. So in other behavioral verbs, the accept, attend, develop, recognize um, clearly signifies that the individual was only focused on the receiving part, wherein he or she receives the information and without any emotional emotional aspect in himself or herself. So in other terms, as another example, during a lecture on climate change, let's say that the student actively listen and take notes and demonstrate attentively with demonstrate attentive body language. So in that scenario, uh, the student is willing to listen. There's the willingness to listen about the information, and it also refers to being aware, as it is written there, that awareness, the willingness to receive an information or the stimuli of grasping an open source of information about a topic. So by that case, the student is able to gain the data that he or she needs to a certain topic. So the next level is the responding. So in the responding part, it is committed in some small measure to the ideas, materials, or phenomena involved by actively responding to them. So the keyword there is the responding. As he listened to the discussion, or as he or she was done by reading the book, the individual would answer questions about the book by the same author, another book about civil rights, etc. So in this case, um, he or she is done with the grasping of information. So he have the foreknowledge about it because he or she reads about the book, and there will be the beginning of curiosity after reading the book, and she began to respond by reading another author that is related to that same book of civil rights. So in that example, but in other example, let me just explain it in a simple way. In after the lecture on climate change, let's go back with the topic about climate change. So the scenario that I am giving here is about a student or an individual reading a book and an individual listening to a lecture about the climate change. So these are two interesting topics, but in these two issues or topics, the person would be led to uh, level leveling or that would assess the affective domain. So in the beginning, we received the information that the second part, in responding, it refers to actively participating. That's the keyword there. As the student grasps the information, he or she able or may actively participate and engage with received information. And it also involves showing willingness to react or respond. So in receiving, he have that willingness to listen, but in responding, there will be the willingness to react about the certain topic. So in this case, the climate change, the student would engage in a class discussion and ask questions and share thoughts and opinions on about the topic. So let's proceed to the next level. It is the valuing. So after the student is able to receive the information, then he or she able to are willing to respond or react by asking questions about the topic. In this case, the valuing, there will be the willingness to perceive, willing to be perceived by others as valuing certain ideas, materials, or phenomena. So the example here, the individual might demonstrate this by voluntarily attending a lecture on civil rights. So because he already understand that the civil rights is great topic to study, because as a human individual, um, knowing the rights of each one is very advantageous. So as he able to grasp the interest, as he able to have that emotional bond with the topic or issue, he or that individual is having that sentiment on that topic about civil rights. So in that case, uh, that person is willing to be perceived by others because uh, she already knew about something that she want others to know. So in that case, there would be the willingness to demonstrate voluntarism. So voluntarily attending a lecture on civil rights. And on the other hand, um, if the students actively also in or participate in a group discussion or a project, um, focuses on sustainable living, because in my other example about the climate change, so as the student is given the information or the emphasis about how serious is the climate change, then that student is able to know about the certain factors or effects, the cause and effects that it might cause on our environment. So in the valuing part, it involves the attachment or the worth or importance to the information or the stimulation of information, and the student would able to express their personal beliefs, attitudes in the certain topic about the climate change. So in that case, the student might be able to focus on sustainable living, because they learn that being adapting to renewable energy, it would help to lessen the impact of climate change. Then they express their belief in such importance of having a greener life. So I believe that is understandable for us. So next is the organization. So in the organization, already held and bring into a harmonious and internally consistent philosophy. So the consistency is there. So because the valuing part is um, being developed in the individual, so there will be consistency, and there will be an organization about how to actively continue the process of this certain topic. And in some cases, the individual might arrange a civil rights rally. So after reading about the book, then questioning about it, then uh, perceiving that there's a great benefit of studying about civil rights, then there's an inclination to create an organization and building a harmonious and internally consistent philosophy. So because it would drive into an action. Usually, if talagang gusto talaga natin ng isang bagay, it will really impact that person, and that would be beginning or the birth of a purpose for that person to share it to others and organize a harmonious group, so organization. But that's not the part here of building groups, because this is only an organization. It means that there will be a codified display order, discriminate, organize, systemize, or way. So in other terms, the topics, or the heaviness of the topic is being more organized into the person's perception. So there's a consistency. And also, organization refers to organizing values into a coherent belief system. It might also be a change of belief system. And in other scenario about the climate change, if the student is drawn in this part of the organization level, the student might critically analyze different perspective. So, and let's proceed with the level 5, which is the characterization. By value or by value set is to act consistently in accordance with values he or she has internalized. So the keyword here is the internalize and the verify. So for the example, the individual is firmly committed to the value, perhaps becoming a civil rights leader. So that's it. Because he is able to organize his perception, or the change of the building of belief system, a new belief system, a new perception, then he would attract others for him to be heard. And in characterization, he will be the one to lead others to become or to be firmly committed in promoting such solution about, or promoting the effectiveness of learning about the civil rights. So that person, by just simply reading, is being drawn or led to the destination of being a leader. So in the other example that I have given about the climate change, so after that student is learned about listening to the lecture, in receiving, then he respond with a question about what other factors might affect if climate change would be more worsened. Though questioning and curiosity part is there in the responding. Then next is the valuing part, wherein is able to sympathize about the topic of, and able to formulate solutions to actively be perceived by others, that this will affect really the environment, then that person is willing to act on it and build a sustainable living. And then in the organization part, the person is able to being more consistent in the philosophy about the climate change. Then in the characterization, this also known as the highest level in the affective domain, wherein it involves um, the from within internalization of the values and the demonstration and consistency of the behavior being discovered. And so I think that would be the end of my report. So in run through about um, the formulated idea of David Kratbull in assessment in the affective domain. So receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization, or RERES book. Thank you, and God bless.